sorry, like this, I have a new computer, and no matter what I do, it just like zooms in on my face.
Is it a feature?
It's a mighty fine face. Do your Max Headroom impersonation. All right.
Hey, welcome to the Yac-ity podcast. We took a little diversion for a couple episodes and did some visited with some former youth pastors and other youth pastors to check about parallel universes with other youth ministries in the years 2000. But so we're back interviewing people from the good old days of Yac. Hey, Matt, what's the purpose of this podcast, by the way? What are we trying to accomplish?
We're trying to get a big enough following to where we could actually go to one of those cons where influencers show up to. I think that's been the dream all along.
So this could be the day we launch into being influencers.
Right. This is where your careers.
What's the secondary goal?
Secondary goal
What's
is
the
just
secondary goal then?
it's just to get back together with people from the youth group from Yac, Youth After Christ, find out where you've been, where you are now, and then reminisce about times when we were in the youth group, and usually stuff we got away with back then but could never get away with now. So that's about it.
So we're doing a fun sibling episode with 3 siblings, Kristi, Jeff, and Greg. So at some point we may ask sibling questions like, who did grandma like best or something like that. But so just if things kind of, there's a lull, we may pull out one of those questions. So, but hey, could each of you introduce yourself and tell us where you're at now and what year you graduated from high school?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
Yeah, so, graduated high school in 1991, which we were just doing the math is 34 years ago. And currently living in Shawnee, Kansas, married and have a 23-year-old stepson who lives with us. And yeah.
Cool. Jeff, you're next.
I'm next. Okay. Let's see. I graduated high school in 1999. And I.
By the way, like, do you sing that Prince song? Like, do you think about that? Was that a theme? Like, party like it's 1999?
Oh yeah, we made some hay with that one.
All right, just
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
But none of us know who Prince was because we went to Urian.
Had he changed his symbol by then?
That was right in the middle of it. So like when I was in high school, we didn't know what to call him. He was the artist formerly known as Prince. But I live in Newton, Kansas, still, or again, depending on how you look at it. And I'm married and I have 4 kids. My oldest just graduated from high school. My youngest is 9 years old.
Awesome. And Greg, for the 10th episode, you are back. He was gone the last 2 episodes. But he's back. And better than ever.
So Greg and I graduated in 93 from the same high school. Nowadays I'm in Denver area, greater Denver area. Got 3 kids. Oldest is now married and off to college. Youngest is still at home doing homeschool. The youngest 2, I guess, are still home doing homeschool. So that's kind of where we're at.
Cool.
So really quickly, like, give us the quick version of like life after high school. Like, did you ever cut shatter cane for Dallas for a couple of years or anything like that? So that came up a lot in the first few episodes. But the people cut shatter cane.
Who hasn't cut shatter cane? Raise their hand.
I moved rocks around in the church parking lot.
I tied rebar for Dallas Clausen on his
No.
house.
Nice.
How do you tie rebar?
Well, you there's a little metal kind of loop you loop around that where the rebar intersects, and you have this little tool that you twirl around in it.
I was gonna say rebar is pretty hard to
It's kind of
bend,
fun.
isn't it? Or do you not
Yeah.
bend?
I did bend rebar for the house I'm sitting in right now.
Oh wow!
You had this little lever thing that you pulled. Don Mulgren said, "Here, bend 34 pieces of rebar," and I did.
And you said why?
Didn't ask why. I just did it. But the house is still standing, so I must have done it right.
It's like foundation work. It's still pretty solid. You should be proud of yourself. So. Did you ever work for Dallas Clausen, Kristi?
I didn't work for Dallas Clausen. I worked for Elmer Clausen, though,
Okay.
doing when he had that little Herald of His Coming newspaper, some old musty mildewy building in downtown Newton. But it
What'd
was.
you do for Elmer?
I think I can't. I don't really remember. I remember like something having
You're
to
an
do
intern.
a Matthew Henry commentary, and I don't know if I was editing it or formatting it or what, but I would hang out and Elmer would give me little jobs, having to
He
do
used
with
to publish a lot of stuff in English and German. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, back to like the synopsis,
yeah.
the short synopsis.
Okay, so should I start that?
Sure, since you're the oldest sister, you should start. So.
So after high school, I went to John Brown University. Graduated in '95 with two degrees, one in English and one in journalism, and then worked for a little bitty daily newspaper in upstate New York. Came back to Kansas and got a master's in journalism from University of Kansas, and then have been sort of in the Lawrence, Kansas City area ever since 2000. Graduated then, but I did a brief little stint in Chicago for InterVarsity Press, but didn't stay with that job. Came back and actually got my old job back, and I've been working for an animal health media company for most of that time. I was editor of a couple different trade journals for veterinarians using my journalism degree. And now I work for an advertising agency that also specializes in animal health. And about 10 years ago, got married and have been enjoying that. Met my husband online, and we have
cool.
a great life.
Good, thanks.
What
Jeff,
did leave out?
Greg?
Sure. Let's see. So yeah, graduated '93. Stayed out of college a year because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Worked at Miracle Camp that summer. That ended
forgot that. That's
to
cool. I forgot that.
Norcraft for the winter. It's probably the low point in my life.
What did you do, Greg? What did you do at the?
I worked at Norcraft.
Oh yeah.
Well, I worked at a construction company. I got fired from that. Then I went to Norcraft.
How did you get fired from a construction company? Just curious.
Did you shoot a guy with a nail gun like in
I was
Happy Gilmore?
jackhammering holes.
Just to watch him die.
This is literally why I got fired. I was jackhammering holes in the floor of hair glass so they could put up a big gantry overhead. And I jackhammered the hole in the wrong place.
Oh.
And they did not like that.
You did it where they told you to drill it, right? And then they.
Where he pointed, there was a rectangle drawn out, but I think it was in the wrong order, maybe, and I just completely screwed up their plans. And so that was me out the door. Then I went to Norcraft, and they liked me better there.
You saved a
But then
guy's
I went-
life there.
What's that?
You saved a guy's life at Norcraft.
What?
Then you like his hand got caught and you stopped. You pushed the stop button before he could like.
Girl,
Oh,
and her
woman.
foot got caught in the roller where the conveyor belt goes under the steel plate.
Oh.
And this happened twice, by the way. She
The
got
same
her foot
person?
caught. It was the same person because she would brace her foot in that little gap where the rollers come like this,
Why?
and then her foot would get sucked into it. And so I had to sprint down and hit the off.
Twice?
Fool
I
me
would
once.
Did she name her kids
Shame
after
on
you,
you.
Greg? Like, did she
I
name her
would
kid Greg?
I don't know.
I would think you would get
She was
written
brought
up
to
after
one of
that.
me.
That's like actually a very cool story. So very cool.
You know, kind of harrowing for a second there, but yeah.
You're
Anyway,
like
so
again?
yeah. What's that?
You said you're like again?
And she didn't come back like after the second time.
I would think you would at least get a write up after the second time. Now, please initial here that you will not stick your foot in the equipment any more
We weren't
times.
supposed to wear like Keds or like thin canvas. We're supposed to be wearing boots, like safety toe boots.
Still steel toed.
She was wearing Keds, like canvas sneakers. You're not supposed to do that on the factory floor.
Yep.
Maybe she was a Run DMC fan.
She
Isn't
was
there?
very,
Don't
she
they have a
was kind of
song?
quiet and mousy, which made me feel extra bad because she seemed more embarrassed than anything to be having to be carried out.
That could be life changing though if you wouldn't have stopped that machine. So that is actually a very cool story. So
And I'm not the one who took a giant steel bar and pried the steel plate up so that she could get her foot out. That other people did that. I just
Well,
off.
I think yours was the integral part of the story, though.
It was a key component.
Yeah. Without you doing that, there may have not been anything to pry up.
Ugh.
that could be life changing for somebody.
So, sometimes we get morbid here on Yac-ity Yak, and
Especially as it gets later.
Yeah. And just be careful on the factory floor. It's not a playground. No horseplay.
no horseplay.
All right, Greg, what'd you do after you saved someone's life twice? So
So then I went to Grace University and graduated after I think like 7 years. At the very tail end of that, I met my wife. We got married, and by this time it's like the year 2000. Spent a lot of the last few months at Grace in the computer lab, figuring out how to build web pages.
Back when it
Dot-com
was
boom
hard.
was winding down just as I moved out to Denver. Just before all the hiring freezes took effect and all the funding got yanked, I got hired on, and so I've been in the tech industry as a web developer. Lucked out on the timing on that one ever since, and now I'm at Amazon as a web developer.
Cool.
how many kids? Oh, you told us that already.
He said 3.
Yep.
Three.
I was, yeah,
Three
3,
girls.
right?
Yep.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, I went to JBU also, followed in Kristi's footsteps. I visited for the first time in 5th grade when Kristi was a freshman there, I think, and that's when I knew they had Cap'n Crunch in the caf, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and I said, "This is where I want to go."
You're sold.
Weren't
So
you also fascinated by the soccer team?
yeah, I wanted to play soccer for them, and I made the team, but I never played. So, well, I made the team and then I quit before the season started. I decided I didn't want to play soccer for 3 hours a day for the next 4 years. So
Did you play in high school?
I did. Yeah.
He was on the Kansas All-Star team.
Quite,
Oh, cool.
quite
Right.
dedicated. Yeah, I was. I made the All-State team, and so we had this kind of exhibition game. It was weird.
I remember going to that
Yeah.
game.
What? Were you
I remember
there?
going to that game. It was at Kansas
Oh,
Coliseum.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Yeah.
That was a weird experience.
Could have
I don't
played
remember
for
much about
after-
the game, but I remember going.
Yeah, I got put in the penalty box, even though I wasn't the one who committed the foul. I think I just got taken advantage of because I was quiet and nice. So I learned a lesson there. I met my wife Jess at JBU. She's also from Kansas, though, and she was a year behind me. So I waited for her to graduate and worked a year at the University of Arkansas in the admissions office, basically as a receptionist. And that was the low point of my life. I answered like 100 phone calls a day,
Oh man.
and I still do not like answering the phone to this day because of that experience. But then once Jess graduated and we were married up, we moved to Vancouver, British Columbia, where I studied theology, got a master's degree in systematic theology. Straight out of there, I got a job at InterVarsity Press, also following in Kristi's footsteps. She had worked as a managing editor there for a short time. So I worked there for a couple of years in Chicagoland. And then once we had our second kid, um, Jess's parents had moved to Newton, kind of independent of us. And we saw that we had 4 grandkids or grandparents in one town, and that started looking pretty appealing.
Yeah.
So we moved home to Newton, and I worked as a freelancer for about in between 10 and 15 years here. And in the meantime, we moved in with my parents. They now live in the basement of their house. We live in the upstairs. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been working for a magazine called Comment Magazine. It's a Christian magazine. Oh, yeah, you got it. I got mine too. Hey. Subscribe today, comment.org. Yeah, so I've been doing that so I've been in publishing pretty much my whole career post grad school, and the move to magazine publishing from book publishing was wonderful, and I love it. So, we have.
Just to back up a second,
Go ahead.
why was answering phones the low point? Because it doesn't sound that bad.
Because you're dealing with people.
It was it. Yeah.
Was it the kind of phone calls you had to answer?
Yeah, I mean, it was like nervous parents wanting to set up tours and stuff and like come visit the school. And it was a pretty dysfunctional office. The guy who I worked most closely with sort of went AWOL, and I had to do his job for like half of the time there. And I was dirt poor, and I was trying to save up for a wedding or an engagement ring. And yeah, it was. I thought it would be a fun job, like working on campus, but it was just a mess. Yeah, I was getting paid peanuts and stressed out, long commute.
Well, this is a good tangent. Kristi, what was the low point of your career?
And now for
I mean, I'm
points
thinking
in your
about
career.
what Jeff was talking about. I worked for Eidelman Telemarketing in Newton.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
did I.
So yeah, also have just an aversion to the phone.
What's your weirdest call that you got of the person who was responding on the other side?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I remember there were some weird ones, but it's in the fog.
You blocked it out.
I probably have blocked it
Suppressed
out.
those memories.
That will be your low life. Your low.
My low life?
Yeah. Maybe don't answer that question. What was your lowest point in your career?
When did I hit bottom?
Eidelman Telemarketing?
It depended, because I think it depends on the day and the moon for Eidelman. Like, what would it? Let's see. I've worked in a nurse. I worked at Friendly Acres in the kitchen. That wasn't too bad. I worked for McDonald's at the Walmart in town.
Ooh, that'd be rough.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. I worked at Eidelman Telemarketing, and I worked the day shift in the summer. I think it was my senior year. Yeah, I worked there my senior year, but it was good pay.
Yeah.
And then if you could get sales, you got commissions, so
Yeah.
that was good too. Actually, do you remember Allison Heidebrick? She used to work there when I was there. I've snipped green beans in a refrigerated room. That's pretty. Doing that for like 8 hours a day, just snipping green beans and sticking them in bags. That might have been my low point. So yeah. How about you, Kevin?
I was thinking about that. We didn't want to answer that question. So I would say the last couple of years I worked at the college. I mean, you can read about the college online, but the last couple of years working at the college, it was just hard to be there and hard to. So I'm glad I'm going back in the fall, but it was hard to be there the last couple of years. Worked 23 years at Heston College, and I would say 20 of those were fantastic. And the last 3 were pretty tough. Pretty tough. So, so, so it wasn't the job; it was just all of the things going on around the job. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't need to dwell on that, but yeah, it was pretty rough. So, but every desert seems to lead to a promised land at some point. So, no, nobody's going like, my worst job was yesterday. So that's good.
I'm currently
One of the things we
working
do is yak memories. We don't want to like just talk about youth group stuff, but like any particular like high points or low points about youth ministry. I generally have to apologize at some point during these podcasts, at least once. Jeff, I still feel bad about wrecking your bicycle. So you have forgiven me for that.
It's all right. Water under the bridge.
Yeah,
I have
I feel bad about that. Okay,
I've got a couple
what'd you
of
say?
Kristi. She and I weren't really in the youth group together because you said 91. That
Yeah.
was 96. I remember you did babysit Jess and I a couple times and took us
I
to the
did?
Yes, you even took us to the Newton pool.
Really?
You were that brave, yes.
I don't remember.
And then do you remember teaching Tarl and I how to ski on the ski trip?
No, you talked about that in one of the podcasts, and I remember being going along on one of the ski trips when I
I
was in
think,
college.
yeah.
Out of college, I think I drove a van with a trailer through the mountains. Kevin, how did you let me do? I was like 19, and I was driving a van full of kids pulling a trailer.
Oh.
This is where I apologize, Kristi.
But yeah, no,
In my defense, I was in my 20s.
yeah.
I just remember I was so sore after that trip from falling all that time. Not because
So I apparently
not because of
very
you,
well.
but we eventually got to the point where I could make it down somewhat decently.
That was a fun trip.
Those are cool memories.
Yeah.
Those are cool memories.
We
So
all survived.
we hit the orange juice story on another podcast where you tried to drink the eggs that I scrambled and thought it was orange juice.
Yes.
So
Yeah, she commented on that in the group. She goes, "I know what this one's about."
I just heard that story recently.
Yeah.
Mom and
I
Dad
think
told it.
Greg was on the trip and so was your dad, but you were still a little kid. You weren't a meat
Yeah.
kid. So.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you were a year ahead of my sister, so I'm just trying to think of stories that we were involved in together. Were you in the youth group when I was a sponsor as a senior? I was like in senior high, but I was working with the junior high.
I think I remember you being at L Bar C,
Yeah,
and I remember
teen
we're
stuff.
having like sharing time in the cabin in the like common area.
Oh,
And,
okay, yeah.
I remember you being there for that. So
Good
that would.
times.
Oh, we just lost Kevin.
Yeah, he'll be back. I'll have to let him in.
That's my main memory. I worked for your dad one day for like a Berean stucco thing or something. Or no,
Oh, cool. What did he make you do?
I don't know. It's like mending fences or something like that
It's probably about right.
out on your property.
It's probably my grandma's property.
Okay.
Or, well, growing up, my grandmother used to live, I think, Buddies. No? Do Buddies live there now? Anyways, it was a quarter mile away from us, and we had a pasture in between. And for a while, we would do stuff for the farm. So that's probably what it
Interested to
was.
hear, like Kristi and Greg, the youth group was pretty small. And then I would say, I don't think the youth group I would say was big, but it was bigger when Jeff was there. We kind of had to do everything together. I mean, like when we started, there were like 14 or 15 people.
Yeah, that's what I
And-
remember. Mhm.
And probably more like 30 when Jeff was there.
Mhm.
Wow.
So
Yeah, you were like before you came. We had, I think LH kind of did what he could on a volunteer basis, but then you came along
and Ray.
oh yeah, Ray
Yeah, really.
Clausen?
was a
Ray Clausen?
yeah.
It must have been before my time.
Jeff,
It's
one of my
it's
memories
funny.
of
Like
you
we
is
met.
Go ahead.
We like you and Greg, Kristi, and I like kind of represent the two like bookends of Kevin's time
Oh,
at
Oh, that's true.
Grace.
no
Mhm.
funny.
You were in the youth group when he started, and he left my senior year, that's my most traumatic memory from youth group is you left the year before I graduated. That
Sorry,
was
Jeff.
rough.
You
we
guys were
hashed that out though in November, so it's all
yeah,
good.
we did. And you guys, your class did a great job for Raleigh. I mean, Raleigh talks about that too. Just like
Yeah, it brought us closer too. Like we had to sort of band together and figure out how to be a youth group without you around. And Raleigh was great too. Yeah.
so. I have a question, Jeff. Do you remember getting thrown out of Sunday school by Jeff Sperling in middle school?
I do.
What
I do.
happened?
Like
Can you share the
he
offense?
I think I wasn't supposed to throw a Bible. Like we weren't supposed to throw Bibles.
Yeah, that's
And we were
probably
doing
good.
like that's probably a decent rule. But
I think all of us would agree on this podcast.
and but like we were doing sword drills, like look up, you hold your Bible up in the air and you give the reference and you look it up. First person who gets it, looks it up and finds it wins. And I like lost by a hair, and I said and I kind of like dropped the Bible in front of me in frustration onto the floor, and Jeff Sperling just got a thoughtful, like kind of pained look on his face, and he's like, "I'm sorry, Jeff, but you threw that Bible." So I was like, it's like he didn't want to do it, but he had to, because I wasn't acting like malicious, or I was actually very, very engaged. But
And he like explicitly said no Bible throwing.
yeah, I think it had been a problem. Like we had been tossing
So
it
he was
to
like, now I
each
have to
other.
follow my own rule.
Yeah, I could tell he didn't want to.
It's on the wall. Please do not throw Bibles.
So that was like a red card rule in soccer, though. Like you had to go out the rest of that time, and then the next week you had to sit out as well. And
Did
so,
What
Jeff?
did you do the week you set out?
so I kind of was just walking around, but then I made the mistake of walking past my dad's office outside.
Oh,
And so he was sitting in his office, and he's like, "What? You, you know?" So I actually went in. I kind of explained it to him. He was like obviously annoyed at first, but I explained it to him, and he actually kind of had a good laugh about it. And I just kind of sat and jawed with him the rest of the Sunday school hour. It was actually a good father-son bonding time. So
It turned out well.
yeah, and then I told him, "You go have a talk with Jeff Sperling. Make sure this doesn't happen again."
Did you ever toss another Bible, Jeff? Did you learn your lesson?
Never, not to this day. I learned the lesson.
Wow.
Any other memories stick out in your head? I just remember Greg was always with Tim McElfresh.
yeah.
I'm sure you have some stories.
I don't have memories of Greg without Tim McElfresh. So,
Yeah. They were quite the pair.
so
Yeah. Did we go on canoe trips? Seems like I remember canoe trips.
That's where I drank the scrambled eggs.
So, I remember a canoe trip, and I thought it was the youth group, but I wanted to make sure. But on one of those canoe trips, we found a big rock outcropping with a rope,
yes,
and we all went swinging out into the water. It was amazing.
yep.
Did you test the water first to make sure it was deep enough?
I think somebody swam out there first to
Okay,
make sure
good.
there were no like shallow points.
Was that on the Buffalo?
Yep.
What's that?
No,
What's that?
near Tahlequah. It was near Tahlequah.
Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Like the Illinois River or something?
Yeah, see,
I
that's
don't
yes,
remember
that's
where.
the Illinois River. We would go there every 3 years, I think. So.
There was a year battalion went and we started blowing things up in the fire.
I don't think Greg, were you in battalion? I don't. Did you do battalion with Mark Lafferty and then Don Esch and Larry Sadowski?
Oh, I did that.
I don't think
You
so.
did?
Boys Brigade?
Yeah.
Yeah, brigade
Yeah,
was
oh,
brigade
yeah.
or stockade first, and then battalion after that.
It's like Christian Boy Scouts, basically, right?
Yeah, you'd have the shirts and
So I have
the
a question for you guys.
badges.
What was it like when your parents told you you were going to Newton, Kansas? Because you had friends there and you were at a pretty established church, and like,
Kristi, we
what was
heard you
that?
cried.
Oh yeah,
Christy immediately burst into tears,
yeah,
like right there on the spot.
We were on a trip. We were on the way to Winter, weren't we?
yeah.
Was it Grandma and Grandpa?
Well, we met Grandma and Grandpa in halfway in between, and the
Oh, it's Spearfish.
trip was so that they could tell us, and in a confined situation where I wouldn't go run in my room and slam the door.
I hate
There
you.
wasn't any precedent for that.
But
So how old were you? I mean, I came. The church wasn't 3 years old yet when I came here. So Christy, you were like a eighth grader.
we moved the summer. We moved to Kansas this summer between my 8th grade and freshman year of high school. So it was not a
Okay.
bad time to move, as
That's
far
true.
as transitions go. And we had this in between time. So between when we lived in Pierre, South Dakota, we spent, what was it, like 6 months with my grandparents in Winter, South Dakota, tiny little town, podunk little school system. And so by that, I mean, I was ready to move else. So by
I
that,
think I remember that.
it seemed like
It's a stressful time for everybody.
What was your reaction, Greg?
Remember, though, that they didn't know where we were going to move when they told us.
right.
Oh,
We just heard we're moving, and then like while we were in Winter, they had a list of like possible destinations, and they narrowed it down to like 2.
Yeah.
wow.
Came down to Elgin, Illinois, and Newton, Kansas.
Yeah.
Wow. Newton Minth.
Really? What was in Elgin, Illinois?
There were some like EMC startup there.
Was it? I don't know if it was EMC. It was
Oh, you're right.
because I think Newton was the only EMC option, but it was a little church that needed a pastor, or that. Yeah.
And was your mom as on board as your dad?
I
It
don't
doesn't
remember.
really work that way.
I believe the
If
fifth.
not, they wouldn't have told us.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to pry. I just didn't. Sometimes
Go get him, Jeff.
your mom has a vision and your dad would go along, or vice. I know they would do it together, but I didn't know if like your dad was excited or your mom was excited, or I didn't
Well,
know.
I think like it was the church was in crisis that he was at, and so I think it was a good time for him to leave. And that crisis had not precipitated well for Dad. I think not through any fault of his own, actually, but
Happens.
so it was right time to leave. And I think between the church showing up and it being close to Mom's home, like it just seemed like the right thing.
Yeah.
And my grandparents on my mom's side lived here, and they were getting older, so
Yeah.
I think it made a lot of sense.
What were your thoughts, Jeff, about that move? I mean, you're sixth grade. You're what? You're 5.
You're asking me or Greg?
You, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh, I remember that van ride, and I remember Kristi crying, and I just remember thinking, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Like, I guess Kristi's sad, but
Kristi, did you
yeah.
cry the whole way?
I don't know. For a good long time.
Did they have to keep you hydrated? Here, drink some more.
You were the emotionally mature one, Christy. You knew what you felt, and you how to feel it, and how to pass through that feeling. So
It's a good thing to
I
have.
was like, whatever.
I would just say it's a credit to your parents and to you guys. Like, you don't seem to have a lot of like, I don't know, like you just did it too. I mean, your mom, the whole family just did it. Like, I think that's part of the reason. One of the reasons everything went so well is because you were all on board too. So.
Yeah. I think that they shielded us from a lot of the stresses that they were going through with the church. So I didn't really understand why we were moving, because I loved our church. I loved our friends there. And, I was in some classes, like I was on some accelerated classes that I didn't want to give up. So I think it wasn't until later when we were adults that they told us more about what had been going on with some of the dynamics and why they felt like it was important to leave. But I do remember I had a really good friend whose family said, Kristi can stay with us for those 6 months while you guys are in Winter, and she can finish out the school year here. And my dad was like, no, we need the family needs to stay together. So it was important to them that we all do it together and experience whatever it was as a family. So
Well, just props to your family for doing all that. So that's pretty cool. So did you cry, Greg? Or were you just
No,
confused?
I thought I part of me was excited, but then I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to go to like the homecoming and hang out under the bleachers at the football game that year and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And where did you
Things that
guys
are
come
important
from?
as a kid. Here,
Here's
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Greg, you would have come then if Christy was a freshman. You would have been a seventh grader.
Yeah,
So did you and you went to Brian in seventh grade? You didn't go to public school, right?
right.
Yeah.
You know, I do remember like that summer we moved to Kansas. We didn't know anybody. That was a pretty bleak summer.
Who was
Yeah.
the first person that you feel like you've connected with?
Who was the first person that you feel like
in
What?
Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Kansas.
You had the
Kansas.
Moore twins right
So-
around the corner.
I made a bunch of like my neighborhood.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
neighborhood's
Yeah.
filled with boys my age, and it was wonderful.
Oh,
But to connect those two, so like I started running around with kids really quick, and I remember that summer I was with Andrew Vanderweg. I don't know if you guys remember him, little towhead.
Did he have a sister?
He did. Kylie.
Kylie? Yeah,
Yep.
she was in my class.
did he have a sister?
Oh, okay, yeah, and
Yeah.
she's was still
Kylie?
around at
Yeah,
least
she was in my
a
class.
few years ago.
Yeah.
I think I saw her at
But-
Walmart in Newton one time visiting.
Yeah.
It's all-
So I was with Andrew Vanderweg, and he had gotten this cool new scooter, and he said, "You should get one of these. They're awesome. They're only $40." So I went back to Dad, and I said, "Dad, can I get a scooter? It's only $40." And he looked at me and he said, "Son, we don't have $40 in the bank account right now."
Oh,
It was a rare moment of blunt
It was
honesty
a
from
lean
him.
time.
Oh,
and back
Yeah.
then, $40 was more than what it is today.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
You were
What
I
in
remember
year?
when we got our
Jasperson.
first paycheck and everybody in the house
Wait.
cheering.
What year was it? I'm gonna look it up.
what year?
1987.
Wait, what year?
There was a Jasperson kid in there too, and the Moore twins, and
Yeah.
there were a lot of kids in that neighborhood. But I don't think Greg had
The
that
Moore
many kids his
twins,
age.
Delmira's daughters. Did you say the Moore twins?
Yeah.
Delmira?
Was it Delmira?
Nicholas and Neil Moore. The Kevin
Oh.
and Debbie.
I'm thinking of someone else. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I don't think Greg had that many.
Oh,
Greg and Christy probably didn't have that many people to hang out with.
No.
So
I know Eric White lived in our neighborhood, but I never met him until later.
the
Yeah,
first
it was like
person,
bliss for me. It was actually a really great move for me. I loved it. I just had friends immediately, and it was harder for
Yeah,
everybody
you
else.
did pretty well out of that.
Yeah, we got Christy crying in the car and Jeff loving it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because.
Who was your first friend then, Christy?
Monica Clements.
Okay, that's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Greg, was yours Tim McElfresh?
Yeah, probably. We pretty much hit it off the first day of school.
So
And
in
they both came to Grace right away, right? They were
Yeah.
early adapters.
Early on. Monica Clements, Debbie Clausen, and we met pretty quickly. She was a couple years older than me. Yeah.
nice.
I had lunch with Debbie in October.
Oh yeah.
She came to the apprentice conference, and Kayleen and I and Debbie and Brenda went all for lunch together. So it was fun. I hadn't talked to her for 25 years. It was really fun. So
Yeah.
really fun.
That's-
Is she the
Kevin?
one who's like high up at Kohl's or like some?
No, that's her sister Brenda.
That's Brenda. Okay.
Yeah.
And she lives in Kansas City. You can put that on the list for the gambling vacation. You can see Brenda.
So I looked it up, and $40 back in 1990. When was it?
I looked it up.
97.
87.
87. Never mind. I was doing 97, so it's
It'd
gonna
be like $120 today or something, probably.
In food dollars, probably.
$113.19.
Wow.
It's 183%.
How much was it?
So $40 back in 87 today is $113.19.
Thanks, Obama.
Scooter.
Thanks, Obama.
Well, like the other question we just kind of always, and we don't know where this question goes. Like, what gives you life like right now? Like, we kind of did like where you've been and how you got to Grace Community Church and youth group and stuff, and then we've talked a little bit about memories. Like, what gives you energy, like right now in your life? Like, what's like the thing that's like, wow, this is the thing I like to think about or do. So, Greg, I want to ask: are you guys going to do a gig this summer?
We got one this Saturday.
Sweet. Where?
Yeah. Can't remember where it is. I'm gonna have to look it up on
I
Facebook.
was gonna say it's probably something you
You
should
going to
find
record
out.
any?
We have all our stuff recorded, and it's about ready to go out. We lost our drummer. He moved to Oklahoma. So we're kind of dead in the water now.
I'm a
We have,
little
like, one
rusty,
guy.
but if you move out here, I'm game.
Still drumming, Matt? Can you fly back in?
Move out.
What are you doing
Wow.
Saturday?
I'm rusty.
Matt, where do you live? Remind me.
Wow.
I'm up in the Portland area. It's called
Okay.
Beaverton, Oregon.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
I
Yep.
was up in the
Yep.
Portland area called Butte.
Far
All right,
away.
answer the question. We started with Kristi. We need to go the opposite order to the youngest sibling on that.
Okay. Well, in addition to my work as an editor, I am also a writer, and
cool.
so I probably publish 4 to 6 pieces a year, essays. Some of them personal, some of them kind of more intellectual, and that gives me a lot of energy and a lot of life. I feel like it's a big part of what I do, even though it's not a big part of my paycheck. So.
Is there? Do you have a website that I could pop up if?
Is there
I do.
a website?
Do you want to share it?
It's JREIMR.com.
Is it up to date with all your most
Didn't know you
recent?
had a website?
Yeah, it's very modest. I mean, it just basically lists the things I write. But
Cool.
first initial, last name without the last E.com. And
Nice.
it's just got a
Jeff, I
list
saw
of
that you were at Sterling College. Is that something you like? You were really talking about the value of academics and being thoughtful, and is that something
Well, I
that
was-
you like?
Yeah, I was talking about kind of the ways to live an intellectual life without being an academic. Sort of
Oh.
trying to distinguish the two. It's I thought there are ways to have a fulfilling life of the mind that don't mean like being a professor and footnotes and bibliographies and kind of being fussy about precision, but there are ways to like fill out that life and that part of yourself that are community oriented and fulfilling in a very kind of amateur sort of dilettantish way. So, yeah, so they asked me to come out and give a talk on it, I guess because I was an editor at a magazine and did this kind of thing for a living. So I
I
got
read the article. It's really a nice article.
yeah,
So-
thank you.
It reminded me of Thomas Jefferson in some ways.
That's the first time I've ever been compared to Thomas Jefferson.
Well, I mean, there's obviously a downside to that, but,
Well,
but I just thought about like just kind of the idea of just kind of this full life of engaging in life and learning all the things you can learn and just dabbling in all kinds
Yeah.
of things. So that was
Yeah.
that part of it was very Jeffersonian, interacting
Yeah,
with
thank you.
ideas. Thing. So I don't know.
no, I took it as a compliment. Thank you.
So, good. Thanks. That's what was meant to happen. So, Greg, like, what gives you life? Like, passion? Like, what's?
I mean, I definitely enjoy music. It's it's a fun way to connect with people, I would say. It's a fun way to kind of get out there and just have fun in a non-destructive way. And then, like,
Do you have destructive ways that you have fun?
right, like, well, I'm not saying I'm prone to going out and getting drunk, but a lot of people go out and get drunk. That's
He does blow
Right,
things up though sometimes.
We went over
what's
that.
that?
You talked about that?
Yeah.
Greg's
Well,
pyromaniac
We went over
tendencies,
that.
Yeah.
The
which is better done sober.
the dry ice.
No, so that's done a dry ice bomb. So,
Well, he would go
I
into
did
the
it.
church, the kitchen, fill it up,
I did a
and
dry
screw it
bomb,
on,
yeah.
and then run outside.
Kitchen.
if I remember
Still does-
correctly.
He still does stuff like that with his
On
buddies
side,
on the back
Nice.
deck.
if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
There's
This
chemical.
was many years ago, but we did another one, like dry ice bomb, and I submerged it, so I thought it would muffle the explosion. It did not. And I did it in my neighborhood, and I was worried the cops would come.
Oh no.
But they didn't, so it was all good.
Nice.
Oh,
Now
no.
that Maryland's a
And
judge, I can't do stuff like that. So,
It was
Dry
not
ice.
dry ice, it was liquid nitrogen. So me and a bunch of other kind of nerd buddies, we got like a dewar of liquid nitrogen, and we made ice cream with it. We blew up pop bottles with it. We coated the whole backyard in smoke. It was pretty cool.
Many uses of liquid nitrogen.
Just don't like confine it indoors because you will suffocate and
Oh.
you will not feel it coming. You feel it coming with carbon dioxide buildup, but nitrogen is not a natural occurring substance in that form, so you will not feel it coming with liquid nitrogen. So
This is starting to feel like a Breaking Bad episode.
Right.
this is the Breaking Bad edition. You still play the banjo?
I haven't picked it up in a few years, sadly. Kind of feel bad about it, but I should probably.
I don't know if you should, but I appreciate just all the avenues of music you're able to do. So,
Yeah, it's
Kristi,
fun.
what gives you life? I know there's still a piano. Do you still play piano?
Actually, it's a fairly new acquisition. I finally got my own piano, and that has been
Right.
joy. Yeah, I always said, "Oh, when I settle down, I'll get my own piano." And 30 years later, I still didn't have one. So we finally, Sean's got it for me for my birthday last year. So
Can you play
very
96
cool.
Tears?
I don't know what that is.
96 Tears. Dun-dun-dun.
What gives you life, Kristi? I distracted you with the piano. Sorry.
That's okay. So lots of things, family, church, but I think my official answer is right before COVID shut everything down. My husband and I bought a little pop-up trailer, um, and we love to take her out. Her name is Pearl, and
Pearl.
we love to go out to the Ozarks and camp and down to like southern Missouri and northern Arkansas, and we take her out to Colorado now and then, and it's just been a really fun thing to just sort of explore. And my husband fly fishes, and I do not fly fish, but I like to hike and take a book and just kind of be out in the woods and the streams, and it's just a lot of fun. So
Good for you. Well, I don't know if we have any other questions or. Who did Grandma like best?
Which one?
I'm just teasing. So, I don't want to cause a sibling fight. So I'm
we
just-
have many stories about my grandma Reimer, and I see and some
Oh, we lost him again.
outbursts. Greg's laughing. He knows what I'm talking about.
I was wondering if you would talk about it. She would use the colorful language sometimes if she thought we kids weren't taking our health seriously.
Oh, what is considering your
But
health?
specifically, like not wearing warm socks in the winter. That was
Warm
really
socks.
She had a younger brother who died as an infant of pneumonia. Or was he an infant? He was very young.
3 years old.
So she was always very, very anxious about staying warm in cold weather.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so
She had a feisty, fiery personality. So if she wasn't happy with you. You knew it.
now this wasn't.
Which wasn't very often,
No.
but which made it all the more shocking when it did happen.
So was this?
Can-
I remember.
You say it?
Your your dad's parents
I remember
lived in Newton, right?
Yeah.
Dave's
They moved. I think like in '95 or so.
Yeah.
They,
So they moved down from South Dakota to Newton after we had moved. They kind of followed us down a few years later.
it was earlier than 95. It was like 89. It was only 2 years after we moved or something. It was I found that out recently too. Like it was like
You
way
sure?
earlier than I thought.
It was
They weren't at Grace for a while because your grandpa
Maybe
passed away.
91, but like not 95.
Yeah, I think
Your
you're.
grandpa and grandma weren't at Grace a lot for a while because they pastored at Burn.
Yeah.
for a long time, and then they kind of, but they
Yeah.
would, but then they would kind of, they started to do ministry at both. So
I remember your grandpa's story about your dad preaching to the chickens when he was young.
Oh,
I remember
that was
your
my
grandpa's
grandpa.
story about
Oh,
That
your
did.
grandpa preached to the
Yeah.
chickens. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was your dad. A
so
story
the
about
president
your
of
dad.
Heston College went to camp with Uncle Elmer.
Really? Which
Yeah,
camp?
Howard Kime and his wife Tammy were went to Bible camps back in Michigan with,
Oh,
or
yeah.
memory camps back in Michigan with Grandpa Reimer, and they just have wonderful things to say about your grandpa and those experiences
We
at camp.
love doing camp ministry. Yep.
Yep. And so, um, I don't know, just so many good memories for us about being with your family and extended family in
Yeah.
particular.
Well,
So, so
we have
Ellen
taken.
had a dream one time that her head fell off and your grandpa fixed it.
Anybody could do it. He could.
Yeah, he can fix her.
He woke up and goes, I had a dream that my head fell off and I went and saw Elmer Reimer and he put it back on.
Who?
Because he would fix stuff for us.
Elliot?
Marilyn.
No, Marilyn.
Oh, Marilyn. I didn't hear who you said.
There's the dog.
Just, and we still, your grandma's cheese potato soup.
Yeah,
We still make that recipe
we do too.
probably half a dozen times in the winter.
Yep.
Alexa, light on.
So I
The one
put bacon in it.
The one out of the yellow cookbook.
Alexa,
Yep.
light on.
Yep.
Yep.
So we don't need the cookbook anymore. We both can do it by memory. So we've done it so many times. So just a lot of really good memories about them. Wonderful people. So
Mhm.
so
I was
I've,
able to.
I've been excited about this. I'm always excited about these, but I've been really excited about being with you guys. There's just so many good memories of our families being together. And I don't know. I think about a lot of what I learned from fathering is watching your dad father you guys. And your dad helping me and giving me advice as a young dad. So it's just I don't know, sorry, I'm going to get emotional. I just think a lot of the Reimers, quite a bit of the Reimer family.
Well,
So,
Kevin,
um,
Kevin, I don't think any of us would have had nearly the high school experience or the teenage experience that we would have if you had not been in our lives. So you were very influential and impactful to us, and very thankful for you guys coming when you did and loving us the way you did.
thank you.
Didn't
I
you
was a
say-
youth ministry major for a year and a half, thanks to you. It was a terrible choice for me, but that's a testament to your influence.
But,
Kevin, didn't you say you were hiding from?
just so many good memories of our families being together. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin,
it was
didn't you say
wonderful.
you were hiding
So,
from?
I just remember you guys were pretty soon. We were looking at pictures. Ellie just had their first kid. We were looking at our pictures. And I don't think Elliot was alive more than 36 hours that you guys weren't up there with Elliot in the hospital with us. So,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
I remember holding him.
Yeah.
I remember holding him in the hospital.
There's pictures of you guys holding him, pictures of all three of you with him. So,
Yeah.
So and now he has a kid.
That's
Brooks.
crazy.
And I'm going to announce on the podcast that my second kid, Wesley, is going to have a baby in December.
Yay!
All
There's
right.
more. We have more subscribers now.
Then
when you-
If we can't convince them to join, we'll make more.
Right.
Then we-
So we'll have two grandsons born in the same year.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And
well,
where's,
thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Wonderful to visit with you, Matt. I'm sorry I cut you off.
That's okay. I was going to say, where does Wes live now?
Olathe, near your sister.
I was gonna say, where does-
Oh, okay. And Elliot does too, right?
He lives in Shawnee near Kristi. So,
So that-
I'm going to go to church sometime with Kristi when we're up visiting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like
Great
you're
church.
moving really soon. That's my prediction.
Sounds like you're
We'll be moving really soon?
Yeah.
So, Maryland's got some time left on her before the next election. So we're not announcing anything on that. So
No.
They call her Judge Wilder then?
yeah,
That's awesome.
at work, but not at home. We don't call her Judge Wilder.
That's not as awesome.
Do you
You
use
should.
court language at home?
Yeah,
Do
we
you-
don't stand at home. With Tanner sitting there.
Ever say objection?
That's what I was wondering.
She doesn't
I
carry a
object.
gavel around the house.
She doesn't have a gavel.
Sure.
She doesn't have a
I
home gavel.
object.
I've been trying to get her to do her own
Where?
Judge Judy type show. I think it'd be great.
I've been trying to get her to do her own
I think I could be Magistrate Maryland, and then I could be Rusty the Bailiff.
Rusty the Bailiff.
I'd watch it for sure.
But it's been a hard no on that idea. Well, thank
Well,
you,
did-
everybody.